The second episode of Mayor of Kingstown Season 3 slows down after a thrilling first half. The episode reveals that someone is taking a hit on Bunny's guys within the prison by giving them medications laced with poison while gradually increasing the strain. However, who might it be? The episode implies that it is the work of Kahan, an Aryan gang member who intends to exact revenge on Mayor Mike McCluskey and his allies for demolishing his stash home in the first episode, even if this isn't stated clearly. Without further ado, let's examine what happened in Mayor of Kingstown Episode 2 and make some predictions for what might happen next. A woman named Sharon visited Big Hush inside the prison during the visitor's hour and left a narcotic packet inside the bag of chips. Bunny, who used to smuggle drugs into the prison without getting detected, was Sharon's boss. Conversely, these detainees would ingest the packet while in the visitors' meeting, dispose of it in their cells, and resell it to other convicts. It was a great strategy, that is, until Bunny's rivals or foes learned about it and trusted Sharon to transport their stockpile to the prison. Although Sharon was never introduced to these new customers, she most likely saw a bigger opportunity there. As a result, she betrayed Bunny and gave Big Hush the poisoned balloon from a different vendor. Within the prison, Big Hush passed away a few hours later. Raphael ripped Big Hush's belly open to remove the drugs and left his lifeless body within the chamber because he didn't want the police to learn about their covert drug trafficking operation. Following the deaths of 2 more inmates in the field from vomiting, Warden Kareem became concerned and made the decision to look into the incident and keep a watch on Bunny's men, who were the most likely suspects. A small number of young people died from the deadly medications even outside. Due to the complicated circumstances, DA Evelyn Foley was forced to ask the Mayor of Kingstown for assistance. In addition, Mike is under a lot of pressure from Kareem, who is fighting his own problems, to make things difficult for him, even though he is the only one in Kingstown with the ability to save the city. Additionally, it seems inevitable that Kareem's crimes against the prisoners will be discovered, and he will pay a high price for them. Mike is skilled at spotting impending danger, if there is anything. That man really has excellent instincts. Mike had already alerted Bunny to Sharon's situation, but Bunny disregarded Mike's warning because he had too much faith in his guys and neglected to take the appropriate measures against the mule. After presenting Bunny and his gang as the main suspect in a case involving toxic narcotics, Mike came to the realization that someone was wrapping up loose ends when Sharon's body was later discovered in an abandoned car outside the Anchor Bay prison. Mike and Detective Ian went to see Lucas Hayes, Sharon's younger brother, in an attempt to learn more about her, but the boy was only able to confirm what Mike had previously deduced. We still don't know the real goals of the unscrupulous mobster Kahan, but he had been plotting something major. I find myself wondering if Kahan ordered the hit on Aryan gang boss Casper, who was imprisoned in Anchor Bay. This is because of his brief encounter with a prisoner. In order to send Casper to prison and put an end to the mayhem within, Mike summoned him for a meeting with other gang leaders in Season 2. But Casper felt that Mike had deceived him, so he sought retribution, which didn't work out well for him. Now in Season 3, Casper discussed his release with his daughter. But before that could happen, a new identified prisoner broke into the visitor's chamber and attempted to choke Casper to death. Casper's narrative ends there, I suppose, but he can still live. But why did Kahan accuse a member of his own gang of being a hitman? Kahan probably feels that Casper is too weak and has lost his edge to lead the gang anymore. That might be one among the causes, or perhaps he held Casper accountable for the gang's drug-related attack on the stash house, which cost millions of dollars. I have no doubt that Kahan will eventually make his genuine intentions known. Iris had been struggling to come to terms with Miriam's passing and adjust to being among Mike's family. Having been a recluse her entire life, she is most definitely not made out for a family. But the issue didn't appear to stop pursuing Iris either. She was about to let her hair down when her automobile was pulled up and she was questioned for her driver's license by the police. Certainly, Iris never had a normal life like everyone else, so certainly she didn't have one. Despite her best efforts, the policewoman apprehended her and took her to the station. She is the only person who could save her, so why didn't she call Mike from the station? She refused to have her fingerprints taken though, so the police had to lock her up before they could get a court order for her. Iris may have objected to being printed because she didn't want her true identity to be revealed given that her records were already in the court system. Perhaps it's true that we don't know much about Iris. She may therefore have motivations for hiding her true identity. However, we are all aware that Mike will, as always, come to her rescue. Greg Stewart shot his friend in the head after they got into a quarrel about 5 years ago. Later, Greg claimed to assist his friend's mother in finding her dead son after disposing of the boy's body in the lake. Greg was sentenced to prison for his crimes, but because of his good behavior, he was granted early parole. But the mother of the deceased youngster didn't want Greg to be let out of jail, so she went to see the Kingstown mayor and asked for his assistance. When Mike called Connie's sister, who worked at Stonebrook, he was shocked to learn that Greg had a clean record and should have been granted parole, which is why Mike chose not to become involved. But after Greg was freed, the mother took matters into her own hands and confronted Greg close to the bus stop with a revolver. She took the murderer of her son out at close range, and she knew he wouldn't make it out alive. There is no connection between this narrative and the story's primary plot. It just shows a typical day in Kingstown, but emphasizes the reality that even Mike has his own limitations and is unable to assist everyone in the city.